Yo, how's it going? Hello from France. So, yeah, it always surprised me how many viewers are European. Which is actually why I stream at this time and not like at night. Are we gonna finish the model today? Hell no. Nah, we're gonna take the model pretty far. A lot of the forms aren't super nice either at the moment. They still need a lot of work. There's only crap on TV. Who watches TV these days? Oh, the blockout? Yeah, I'm sure the blockout will be in a pretty good spot end of today. I keep forgetting to look up reference, so I haven't figured out like what the engine and stuff is going to look like yet. But eventually I'll look up reference. Yo, Garrison, how's it going, man? How's work going? But yeah, the speed I work on this and like the speed I work at actual work is pretty different. Like it's hard to talk and model at the same time. So my modeling on stream is usually a bit more casual. Yeah, I'm not really liking this. Just moving verse all day? Yeah, for sure. I mean that's our job pretty much, right? Get off. Yo, how's it going? Look, Laurie. At work, do you get one image as reference or often 3D concept like front? I can't remember the last time I got an orthographic view or something. We don't really get orthos anymore. Usually it's like, we'll just get the 3D model that the concept artist used and some paint overs. Yeah, very rarely do we actually get an orthographic these days. It's just not really a thing anymore. Because everyone works in 3D, so they might as well just give you the model. Oh shit. I really admire the focus and dedication a modeler has to finish a model. Imagine working on a likeness of an actor and seeing the face every day for a week, or modeling screws and nuts on a hard surface model. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, to be fair, with like the likeness of actor stuff, most of it is just like scans and stuff these days. But yeah, it's not, I don't know, like I never really did them, so I don't know too much about the process. But a lot of the time it's usually just getting a scan model of an actor, you clean up the scan, and then you take your, whatever your default human mesh is in your studio, which has all like the blend shapes and stuff, and then you just use whatever program they use to, I think the last time I've used it was something called like Wrap 3, I think was what it was called. And you literally just snap the default human to the actor, and then you clean that up a bit. So I don't think it's like as like artistic as people imagine it is, like online. It's a very technical process doing digidoubles. I had to do it a little bit on Uncharted, and that's the only time in my career I've ever done like digidouble work. Yeah, these lines are starting to feel pretty good. This isn't going to be the actual panel. I'm just using it as a placeholder, just to see how things are feeling. Because I do this quite a lot. I create like placeholder geo everywhere as like, you know, just to see how it actually goes up against the concept. Making sure the lines are feeling pretty good and stuff like that. This bit here feels weird. I didn't realize how different this circle was. What the hell? Yeah, hope you're having a good day as well. Yo, how's it going? Has this always been wrong? I guess it has been. Interesting. Did I intentionally like line them up? No? Okay, weird. I wonder why I did this circle wrong. I mean, it should be on the same level down here, but weird. Yeah, it feels better. How long does it take you to finish like a full aircraft? It depends entirely on the asset. You can get like a week to do something, which is not usually the case, but usually like a few weeks to a few months. It depends entirely on the context of how. It depends entirely on the context of how things are used. How long does it take at the harvester? Harvester is a weird one because I built it for Dune 1 and then it kind of got half rebuilt for Dune 2. Just because this is the prime example, right? Like Dune 1, we spent much less time on it than Dune 2 because in Dune 2 its context is much larger. Like it's literally larger, we scaled it up. And then we see everything much closer. So the harvester for Dune 1 was not anywhere like near as complex as the second one was. We still used the first one as a base, but it changed quite a lot. Like even if you look closely, even the excavator at the front is completely different between both movies because they wanted to change it. Things you would not show or not do in your portfolio. Interesting. What would you not put in your portfolio? I think one of the main things I would avoid, I mean, none of it's hard surface related, honestly. It's all like character stuff, funny enough. Like I wouldn't put gore in your portfolio because like it could be too much for some people. Like it would be hard to do like a Diablo thing for your portfolio that like you don't want like a decapitated body or some shit like that, right? That's too much for a student to put in their portfolio. It had to be effects ready. Yeah, it had to be effects ready as well this time. So that was a pain in the ass, but that's just part of the job, rebuilding things to be effects ready. Hey, from Turkey. Sick. It's always cool to see where is everyone from actually. I'm so curious because it always surprised me what percentage of my like viewers are actually European. Romania, Belgium, sick. Sweden, Poland. Yeah, everyone here is from Europe. It's pretty cool. Damn, Ukraine. That's intense. Yeah, surprising to see one American person. All right, what are we going to do about this? This bit here feels a bit weird. At this point, I'll probably start ignoring the concept and doing what I think looks better. Like, if some things don't feel right, I'll probably start changing them. Wait, how long have I been muted for? When did I mute myself? About 1 minute? Shit. Okay. Wait, when did I didn't even notice myself muting myself. That's pretty funny. Because, yeah, I was like, wait, how? I couldn't have been muted this whole time. We were talking about countries and stuff like that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess I just knocked the mute button or something. What was I talking about? Well, it's probably doesn't even matter, honestly. I think I was talking about like I'm just doing this car. Like I have no desire to do this in my free time, so I'll do the full processor on stream because people always ask about seeing the full process of doing an asset. But since it's stream, it's a bit more casual, so it's not like I'm gonna power through this as quickly as I can. Another stream? Yeah, I'm just gonna stream on this time for now. Yo, Odepru? I'm sure I butchered that name. I'm sorry, but thanks for the prime. I appreciate it so much. Will I texture the car? Hell no. We will do shaders though. I think with cars like this, you can get away with just having some nice shaders and not having to worry about texture. Texture, I wouldn't recommend a car as a texture portfolio piece just because it's too simple. But shaders, like cars, is like 90% shader work. Before checking my phone. Oh, okay, yeah. I got a notification on my phone. I don't know why I muted myself though. Maybe I thought the mic would pick up some noise or something. And lighting, yeah. It's like the HDRI itself, like same thing like reflective materials and glass. Like the HDRI you chooses like changes everything. Okay. I think I've got like the general forms of what I need here. What is this shape? I can't imagine this actually looks like this though. I mean, maybe that could be cool, but I can't imagine this is actually this. Maybe, that could be kind of interesting. And then this would have to also be curved in as well. But yeah, this is why I like placing proxies everywhere, so I can like make sure things actually like line up with each other before I invest into doing anything. So that is there. You can see I don't care about topology either. We worry about that stuff later. But why do I need two of them? I just need one of them. Because that could also imply that this whole thing just goes in further. Out of curiosity, what does a door look like with this? So if we take, let's just take this piece. And then we get copy this one. We just imagine this is our door for now. That's a fucking huge door. So we might have to alter this a bit. I'm always a fan of like the scissor doors, but like I don't even know how this is gonna fit around. How this is even gonna fit around this. Let's just actually try something. So out this way, and then just pull this here, and just look at it. Well, that instantly collides. So it'd have to be up high. Maybe we'll have to do some crazy sci-fi thing where the bottom like breaks off or something. Like that. And then maybe the bottom can disconnect or something. The cool thing is we get to make this stuff up. Honestly, this is like one of my favorite sort of tasks as well. Like doing like anim tests and stuff like that. So maybe like instead of that coming out, this goes down. And then, oh no, it needs to be out of the group, doesn't it? Take it out. Set it down there. And then slide that way. Essentially it'd be something like that. I guess that can work. The door is huge, but I'll make some mechanism in there or something. Let's just delete that. Oh, I didn't realize this was all in here. Whatever. Could be cool. I'm always a big fan of the suicide doors. I mean the scissor doors. What's a suicide door? Why would that come into my mind? It's a bit special. We're animators now. I actually do this at work all the time. Like throughout most of my career, I've done stuff like this. I think this can make you really like. This is something I get my students to try and do in their portfolios, because like if you show off like you actually have figured out the functionality of things, it just makes you. It shows you've actually put thought into what you're doing. We don't have to like animate things properly, but like this stuff can look cool. Did I build the harvester from complete scratch? I got the harvester from a napkin sketch. So I didn't get a 3D model for the harvester. Ford GT has those cool roof cutted doors, which remind me of this concept doors. Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I'm just such a fan of like this sort of shape. Maybe we could do some form of like rolling mechanism to make it more around like that. Could be kind of cool. We'll figure something out. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of like just having them do like the seagull looking thing. I mean, that could be a solution, but what I like about like this scissor door is like the fact that there's multiple angles of movement. It's not just like it just opens and it's done. I do like the fact that we have this thing sliding out. But yeah, I do this sort of stuff all the time at work. Like say for example, did I move this already? I did, didn't I? Like a prime example is like the ornithopters, for example. Like we needed to build them so that the ramp can close into the body. So the only way we know that the ramp is going to functionally close is if we physically put it into the spot that we know it's going to be. All right, let me turn this off before I open this. Oh yeah. I'm never a fan of this. Actually, let me put this back on. I'm never really a fan of this sort of thing, because to me it's just like you're getting rid of cool geo that we could have making a cooler silhouette. Like functionality wise, it makes sense, but like I like the idea of breaking the silhouette of the car with the door, so I'd probably not do that direction. Gull wings, yeah, no, I'm not the fan of the gull ones. Maybe we'll see. We could always do a mix of both, right? We could always have, like, say for example, if we cut this here, extract this, grab these two, take them out of the group. We can always do like essentially like a mix of both, right? So, oh, maybe they wouldn't go up, but maybe the front bit can go forward while this one goes up. So this one, instead of going that way, just delete this. Just like slides forward or something. So we could do something like this essentially, where it splits and goes into different ways. That's another option. Usually like with this sort of stuff, like if the door isn't figured out, we can show multiple options and just let them pick what they want. Something like this could work. That could be cool. But yeah, as you can see, you don't really need much geo to start testing this sort of stuff. But yeah, the door is thick. So I think this is why I tell people, especially my students, not to dive into details too quickly, because like, imagine you make a door and then we realize the door just doesn't open in the way we want. We have to redesign it. So keep everything as simple as you can for as long as you can. All right, let's bring that back. But yeah, what you want is what makes hard surface look cool. It's something one of my art directors has talked about in the past. He calls it the mechanical handshake, which I think is a good way of explaining. Like you want things to like come together. So it's not like you want things to like slide into each other and lock in together. So that's why you have like, you don't just have something open, you have something like open and then slide in here, or like detach here and connect to here. Like you have all these different levels that add to the functionality. So eventually we will have all cool shit happening. Like say for example, you can see the door slides underneath this thing. Like it maybe at some point the door will, actually let's just do this. Let's do another fake door. Maybe at some point we could have the door has to slide diagonally like this to clear this and then goes up. Like things like that is like the mechanical handshake. Like it comes in and then slides forward to lock into this thing. Nah, Transformers is just bullshit. I mean, nah, they do put a lot of thought into the transformations, but yeah, it is just camera magic essentially. The crease technique can be used for helicopter. Of course, the creasing can be used for anything. I use creasing for armor, Like if I had to make like a knight's armor or something, I'd use creasing there. It's just a normal modeling tool. But yeah, now I've got like the main pieces of this in. I'll probably start just doing things by eye now, I think. Based on what I feel or think would look better. The only thing a supervisor might complain about is the fact that my window frame is slightly different. I don't know if I care. At this point, I don't think it... I could spend more effort to make this frame a little bit closer, but I don't know if I really care that much. Maybe we can just cheat it a bit and bring this in. That alone could be enough. Or I think it's actually just maybe if I just move my temp glass, that could also be it. I always thought the first time was way over the top. Wait, what? Oh, the transformation? No, I think the way Transformers dealt with it was good. They showed you the first time you see the transformations, they're very over the top. And then from that point on, they simplified it. Like they kind of showed you, I thought it was pretty clever actually. They kind of like mentally got you used to what a complex transformation is. And then once they've shown you it, you just instantly think about it. So all the other transformations after that are super quick. But I do miss the transformations. Like I was a bit disappointed because I thought with the last night, I would have all these cool hot rod transformation shots, but then there was just one of them, and to me, I didn't think it was a cool transformation. But that was a little disappointing. But yeah, it is what it is. What is Michael Bay working on now? I heard about some skibbity toilet shit. Like, what is that? Like, what sort of movie could that be? $1 billion. Yeah, it probably will make a lot of money, but yeah. Maybe curves in like this would be better. I hope the Skibbity Toilet movie is fake news. So I heard of something about that. So apparently the guy who created it kind of, like I didn't look too much into it, but apparently the guy that created it got like super fucked over. Like he lost the rights to it because of this, I think. If that's true, that would fucking suck. I mean, I don't give a shit about Skibbity Toilet. But like, the fact that someone could make something and then kind of lose the rights to it because I don't know what happened with their deal, but like that kind of fucking sucks. Yo, how's it going? Yeah, Michael Bay was interesting to work with. But to be fair, like Transformers is one of the most fun projects I've worked on for sure. Very, very chaotic. What is this thing under here? I don't even know what this is meant to be. So, this is so weird. I assume this means this is meant to come underneath here, maybe. Do you ever chat with the animators to align on what the model needs to do? Not the anim. Oh, depends. Sometimes it depends. Like say for example, let's use Ornithopter as an example. Like I gave them my anim file, like an animated file, so they could see what I was thinking, and I gave it to rigging as well. If they want to use it, that's up to them. But at least like they do like when you put some thought into things, because they don't have to. I mean, of course they'll do whatever they want, which is fair because they are the animators. They are the ones, they're way better animating than I am, of course. But at least they're happy that we've put some thought into doing this. Like, and it makes rigging's life easier because they can see, like they can put the joints where you've put your joints and like make sure things just line up that way. So they do like that stuff for sure. If you can give them that, if you can give like the rigger your anim file, it's always a good thing. Even if they don't use it, at least they have like a starting point. But yeah, it depends what it is, right? If it's like a robot that needs to do very specific things, like there's a project I worked on. It was the last thing I did in VFX actually, which hasn't come out yet, so I can't talk too much about it. But it's a robot that we did a lot of back and forth. Like I would give them a proxy, they would test, rig it, they would send it to Anim. Anim would do test animations to make sure that they could do the things they wanted. And then they would have changes, it would come back to me, I would alter it, go back to rigging, back to Anim. So those situations do occur. But for like a car, the car is only going to move in so many ways. So it's very different to like a robot that needs to do very specific things. Am I watching anime? Yeah, I don't really watch movies, funny enough. I mostly just watch like anime and play video games, funny enough. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I spent my whole career working in film, even though I don't actually watch movies. So being in games now is definitely much more aligned with my interests for sure. This bit here feels a bit weird. Is there like another connecting piece under here? Oh, there is. Okay. Yeah, with cars, like the flow of the car is so important. Like we're gonna leave it pretty low poly as we figure out the flow. And like my students will also think about, like I'll keep my students in low poly for quite a long time. And it can be frustrating because you feel like you're not really progressing because you're still in the same low poly state for so long. But once you have everything figured out, like my current student, you know, she was in low poly mode for ages, and then once we figured out the panels, she did the panels in a week, and that's half the asset just finished in 1 week. So it's always good to prioritize getting the forms correct, like early on for sure. What is this piece here? Oh. My terrible topology is fucking up the model at the moment. But this bulge just feels weird. Maybe we're gonna cut it. How do you like game workflows compared to VFX? I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I haven't really had to do too much game stuff, honestly. Like I've just been doing high-res meshes, which is cool. And I've been doing more concept. So I'm in this cool mix between concept and production, which I quite like. I'm in potentially my favorite, well, most preferred position at the moment. Doing creative problem solving and high-res meshes. Is this on an angle? I think it is. Oh, my camera's in the way. Yeah, my position is really unique, I guess is the way I'd put it. Do you work in a specific game in Blizzard or everywhere? So the cinematic team work with all game teams because yeah. So you have all your independent game teams, they do their own thing, and then you have SFD, which is the cinematic department. Well, it's not just cinematics. SFD is like marketing, and so like the SFD team will do like the posters and the like the game art and stuff like that for like the covers and stuff like that. It's not just cinematics. They're essentially like the marketing team, if that makes sense. But yeah, the SF, I mean, it's all the same thing. SFD team, like the modelers are, yeah, easily some of the best models I've ever seen for sure. So I think we need to really pull this in to make this more interesting. But this connection between this and this is awkward. So maybe we should start curving all of this in. No doors yet? Yo, Grubber, how's it going, man? Did you ever end up finishing your car? Like the model ended up being very, very cool. But I saw you posted your work in progress textures before. Stuck at texturing? Yeah, I'd also be stuck at texturing for honest. It's texturing is not my thing for sure. But yeah, the Grubber did a mentorship with me. Honestly, it wasn't even that much. Like he's pretty experienced himself and he's pretty good, so he kind of knocked that out himself mostly. But he did a pretty cool vehicle. Actually, let me bring it up. Why not? Let me open Discord. You posted in the whip feedback section, right? That was a while ago. It's crazy. I don't really look at the Discord too much, but there's some pretty cool stuff in here. But yeah, man, this ended up turning out super cool. I really like the console. Yeah, super clean model. Yeah, I think people are talking about the only thing you need to work on is like the material breakup, which I agree with, but I'm not, I don't know texturing, so I couldn't give you actual texturing advice in that regard. But yeah, this looks super cool. Very, very cool. Yo, I'm gonna refill my water. Be back in a sec. Grievous's escape vehicle? Yeah, it's pretty similar. Yo, has anyone played RV there yet? It's it's the funniest friend swap game that I've been playing a lot recently. This bit here feels so weird because this should be so much deeper, but I'm not sure if I want to make it deeper. Or this actually bulges out. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. So this goes this way. That could be the answer. I'm not into Friends, so I've not played it. Yeah, it's so much fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. It's actually hilarious. Most people don't actually know how manual gear vehicles work. Yeah, it's crazy. So like in Australia, right? In Australia, you legally can't drive a manual car. So okay, so in Australia, if you have two different licenses. You have manual and automatic license. I mean, it was like this when I got my license. I don't know if it's still the same. But like you legally can't drive a manual car with an automatic license. So everyone in Australia learns to drive manual so they can drive both cars. So it's so funny to me to see people that can't drive manual because in Australia, everyone can drive manual. Well, back when I was in Australia, at least. Same thing in your place? Whereabouts are you? Same in Belgium? To me, that makes so much sense. But here, so what's crazy is like also like when I swapped my license over to a Canadian license, I didn't have to do a test or anything. I literally just got given a Canadian license, and I've never driven on this side of the road, which to me is kind of wild that they just give me a license even though I've never driven on their side of the road before. Oh, speaking of that, I also applied for Canadian citizenship, so that will be interesting. Collecting the so I've got Australian, British, and I'm going for Canadian. So I'm collecting the Commonwealth. It's kind of funny. How was switching? I still have never done it. So so I don't really need to drive in Canada. Like I just haven't had a need to because I live on top of the train station and downtown is pretty easy to get to. So yeah, I've had a Canadian driver's license for like 7 years and just never driven on this side of the road before, funny enough. How was process to PR? Uh, Honestly, it was a pain in the ass. Like PR is way harder to get than citizenship, funny enough. What made PR even worse was I did it during COVID. Like I applied before COVID, and then shit happened with COVID, the government shut down, and then my PR application kind of just got lost in the void. Get this right, this was fucking crazy. So like they were meant to email me the next step in the process, but they just didn't. And like they let me know I was meant to go to the next step, but they never gave me what I was meant to do for the next step. So what I did was I just asked my friend, and he dug up his emails of when he got PR, and he found the email I was meant to get, sent me that, and I just guessed this is what I should do and sent the documents. I mailed the documents to where he got told to send them, and then I got just approved PR. I was like, what a fucking clusterfuck. But yeah, we got PR in the end. But yeah, because of COVID, so me and my friend applied for PR almost the same time. He got it like a year before me. just because. I'm a student, so soon am I passing in PR. So the hard thing with PR currently is I know that they keep raising the points required. So that could be the biggest issue with getting PR now, is the point requirements are pretty crazy. I heard Europeans joke that getting a manual car was a form of theft prevention. I mean, yeah, sure, that could be true. Also, it's cheaper to get a manual car. So all my cars I've owned growing up were always manual. I mean, now I'll get it automatic, but previously it was all manual. I've totally fucked this geo up. I haven't been paying attention to this enough. All right, let me clean all this shit up a bit. Maybe we can bring this down more and have it bulge down here. I assume this is the idea of the concept, that it goes in at the bottom. To do something like this, maybe. Actually, let's just get rid of this. This will make my life easier. You know, we can add the cut in after we have the nice curve. But having it bulge out like that just doesn't feel right either. This is the problem with like interpreting concept, is because it can kind of go anyway. If worst comes to worst, we can always subdivide up and then just fix it after. But I'd rather try and get the flow as much as I can in the low poly. Because if like it feels super weird down here, we can always subdivide it and then clean this up afterwards. But we'll try and avoid doing that. I did hear that the points requirement has begun to go up like crazy. Yeah. Yeah. The crazy thing is, apparently it's much easier to get citizenship than renew my PR. So that's why I applied for citizenship. But yeah, I've considered like potentially going to the US eventually, but like now it's a bit hard. it's a bit hard to go right now. Maybe one day. Let me pull this forward a bit. Yeah, I'm not really sure how interesting the first... Like, I think the first few streams where the blocking is kind of interesting, seeing the forms get there. But like, I think this stage of the process is not going to be super interesting because I'm just constantly going to be adjusting forms. And then when we find something interesting, then we'll do like the more interesting stuff, like, you know, the topology and that sort of stuff. But for now, it's going to be a lot of like just experimenting, because this feels so bad to me at the moment. Of course, we'll make it work eventually, but now it doesn't feel good. When you did your Texan driving test, you didn't have Mustang. They dinged you points for being too cautious. Yeah. Wait, why were you doing your driving test in a Mustang? Oh, fair enough. Okay. Eagle noises. So funny. I'm not really sure what this here is meant to be. Like, this shadow implies there's some degree of like depth in here, but I'm not sure if I actually like it. Let me do isolate select as add selected geo. put this in here just so I can just do this on the fly. Yeah, so if you have your concept like isolate selected, you can always just add geo to it, which can be super convenient. Let me just pull this in so I know it actually lines up correctly. It's good enough. But this just feels so weird because that would imply that this has to bulge out so much more. Maybe if we curve this back out up here, because it just doesn't feel right having it. No, that doesn't feel right either. Gotta go to bed. Yeah, have a good night, man. I'll catch you later. Do I recommend Blender plus Unity for beginners like you? Depends entirely on what you want to do. If you're a beginner, I would just say do whatever you want. Have fun. Like, figure out what you enjoy doing. The software is irrelevant. Like, if you want to do modeling, though, you don't need Unity. Like for example, if you want to go into film, there's no need for Unity. It just depends on what you actually want to do. If I were in Australia and got a manual license there, I would, what's that? I would really like to try those UTE built in Australia. Oh, utes. I was like, what the hell is a UTE? That's a ute. Fuck, now you mention it, I haven't seen a ute for a fucking long time. Would maybe pick up Unreal with Unity? Yeah, I would probably do Unreal. But the thing is, if you don't even want to go into games, there's no point of even touching a game engine. If you're a beginner and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, I would just have fun and just do whatever you want. Like, I wouldn't make any decisions on what you should and shouldn't do. Just explore different things. And Blender is obviously a great intro. All right, this is really starting to annoy me. Let's fix this. Yeah, just have fun. Explore the world of 3D. Ignore the people online that are telling you that Blender is the only thing that needs to be used. Just, yeah, play with everything. But Blender is a good start because it's free, you know, as we've heard 1,000 times before. I never thought someone would say to my face, Blender is free, but it's happened. That was interesting. I'm really disliking this form, honestly. Like, just this is annoying me. And this obviously looks terrible at the moment, but we can fix all this stuff later. It's just this connection just does not feel good. But it's implied there's a lot of depth here. I just don't know if I like it. Maybe just because I can see the back that it bothers me. Or maybe we just do this actually. If that goes in like that, that might be enough to not bother me as much. Put that in there. Now let's want to get into virtual production. True, but virtual production is definitely a niche. I don't... actually, maybe it's not as much of a niche anymore, but yeah. You're right, if you want to do virtual production, Unreal is the way to go. Or previs. Previs is also a good thing. But like, I've never really heard people say, I want to be a previs artist as a student. I wonder how people like fall into previs, because I'd never hear anyone say they want to be a previs artist. Let me do something actually. No, I won't do it right now. How's it going? I haven't been able to catch a stream in a long while. I haven't streamed in a long while, so that's fair enough. Yeah, things are pretty good. Been enjoying my time at Blizzard, so that's obviously very cool. All right, let's put this back over the other side. How does one become a previs artist? I got no idea. It's not like an avenue that people usually try to go into. Oh wow, I was completely off with these things. Let's just tone these back in a bit. Am I on the cinematic side? Yeah, I'm on the cinematic side. I'm on cinematic side, but cinematics is very, very broad. Like it's not something it's something I didn't realize about cinematics in general is they wear more hats than I thought they would. Like I mentioned earlier, like cinematics also do like say for example they need a super high res character for a poster or like marketing art, like that's all done by a cinematic team as well. It's not just the cinematics. They do, yeah, the marketing art as well. And then they also support the game teams in other ways. What advice would you give to a hustler model on how to find a job? That's the most asked question ever. I don't know. It's not like I can be like, just do this and boom, job. It's like, I would say the most important thing is just accepting that there's so many factors outside of your control that you can't really like do anything about. And essentially you just need to work hard. And if you just keep working hard, it will eventually work out. It might not work out in like the way you expect, but that's reality, the only thing you can do. Just keep working hard, keep putting your work out there, keep talking to people, and then hopefully one day the stars will align, and that's it. There's nothing I can really tell you, which is like, yeah, just have this portfolio piece and boom, job. It's like nothing like that, essentially. Of course, there's things you can do, like, you know, tweaking your portfolio to give you a higher chance of getting a job, of course. But like, there's no magic pill for getting a job, unfortunately. But yeah, I think one of the most important things is just like really enjoying what you do, because people can usually kind of tell. I keep forgetting to look up reference. I need to figure out what this engine actually looks like one day. All right, let's just put that away for a second. Let's start actually, I'm just going to do this myself now at this point. I think I've copied it enough at this point to I can just fix the rest myself. Actually, maybe I should look at this for a little bit more. This intersection here with the light just doesn't feel right. Whatever. All you need is an AK. All right, on that topic, funny enough. So I remember like there was this whole thing about like, you know, self-taught versus not self-taught. And someone brought up the fact of like, oh, when I got in the industry, all you needed to do was make a cube. Boom, you can get a job. Firstly, that's complete bullshit. Like, they didn't just give jobs to anyone. There was much less jobs when I was trying to get into the industry than there is now. And like, we didn't have anywhere near the information that you have now either. So it's not that things have gotten harder or easier, things are just different. So there's more work now, like 3D is more prevalent. There's also more information out there that you can like actually use to learn properly, but you're also now competing with more people. So it's not that things used to be easier. Things are simply just different. That's probably the best way I could explain it. Because think about it, when I was learning 3D, there was no Andrew Hodgson streaming on Twitch that I could just go and hassle. Like that just wasn't a thing. Like I had to literally just guess at what I was doing and hope it was right. And it was like that for a lot of people. So, but yeah, the thing is also, well, I didn't have to compete with as many people for a job. But doesn't mean it was easy. What is your texturing software of choice? My texturing software of choice is just giving it to the texture artist because I'm not a texture person myself. But if I was, I don't know, I would probably go to Mari, but I know Painter is obviously like popular. But yeah, at this point, I'm just going to do whatever I think looks cool with the car. I think I've matched the reference enough at this point. One thing that creasing doesn't really work with, it doesn't do transitions well. So I'm probably going to go through and like sort this stuff out later. But yeah, I think this could be kind of cool. If this like transitions over here and it's very slight offset. Also, the fact that it's just a sharp line might also be bad. So maybe we transition down. So I'm kind of going to make up the flow of the car myself at this point, just because I think it'd be more interesting. Also, what we could do to enhance this bit here, maybe we can enhance where it extends out. Something like this could be kind of interesting. Or not, that looks fucking terrible. Let's undo that. Yeah, all right. I also, maybe this is too sharp. Maybe I'll keep it more simple for now. Or maybe we just keep that, but get rid of this cruise. So it's a bit more subtle. But yeah, since I've got the main forms now, I'm just going to start working on my own flow a bit more now. Wasn't it because Painter didn't support Udums? Yeah, Painter supports Udums now. I think honestly the best is both. You use Painter to get your masks, and then you use Mari to deal with the high Udum count. Lots of reading and asking tons of questions. I didn't even there's no one I could ask questions to. The way I learned 3D modeling, I bought 3D Artist magazine, just looked in it, and I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I'll just try copy this. And then like sometimes I tried the game art workflows by accident because I didn't realize there's a difference between game and film. And then like eventually I kind of stumbled into sub-D modeling. And that's how I learned sub-D modeling. But yeah, let's bulge this out a bit. But yeah, I'm not trying to like dismiss the hardships of getting a job now. It's more just explaining that things aren't harder or easier. They're just different now. Are you using any add-on scripts to suit with my workflow? I am not. I honestly, I prefer just default Maya. I don't like having to need to be dependent on workflow on add-ons. I know there's obviously some which help, but like for stuff like this, just some good old like, you know, poly modeling with creasing I think is enough. So this is going to be a weird transition here. Maybe we can set it up to not be as weird with some supporting edge loops. Because when we subdivide this anyway, it's going to fix itself. So we can do a lot of the problem solving at this level. Like you don't need the forms to be perfect at this level, but we can at least set ourselves up to not be screwed over later. Like this sort of stuff will eventually subdivide into a nicer mesh. And I should probably save my file. To add to that, there's the Mara extension pack that tried to simulate Substance smart masks. That's cool. Oh, it's so heavy and slow you might as well use Substance, yeah. Yeah, like, there's so many different workflows in the industry. Like, for example, the way they did the harvester wasn't actually painted in Mari or Painter. It was done entirely procedurally in Engine with Clarice. Like, there's lots of different ways of doing things. I think I think Tim used I think he used Substance Painter to get the masks to bake. He had like 16 different Substance files to bake all the masks because the thing was like 1,000 plus UDIMs. And then he got the masks from Painter and then used like procedural workflows in Clarice to do the texturing. There's many different things, right? And that's kind of one of the exciting things about in the industry, right? Is every single task is always different. There's always a new workflow you need to figure out to actually make this stuff work. Yo, how's it going? Yeah, the harvest had a lot of UDIMs. I want to find a way of breaking this really long straight line. Maybe the solution could be to just pull. Nah, that was terrible. We need to break this line in some way. Maybe we can pull this in instead. Actually, what's it look like on the concept? No, it is pretty clearly there. Have you checked out Arvid's new marketplace? I have not, but I've heard about it. What's it called again? He used to stream, right? CG Lounge, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't know anything about it though. I need to go to the restroom. I'll be back in 2 secs. He still does, like on YouTube or something. I haven't seen. There's so many like Twitch artists, like streamers. I haven't seen in so long. Oh, someone brought up the bikes. Pretty funny. Yeah, what happened to all the 3D streamers? They all just disappeared. He streams on Patreon. Ah, interesting. Okay. I didn't even know Patreon had streaming. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about like asking for money on these sort of streams. Like I greatly appreciate when people do like subscribe and stuff like that, but I have like no expectation of it. I don't know. I don't like the idea of like necessarily like paywalling this sort of stuff. That's why I put all the streams on YouTube for people to just watch there. You felt a lot of it was COVID and that's kind of faded now? Fair. Actually, yeah, I grew the most during COVID for sure. But yeah, I don't know that the concept of being like a successful artist in the industry and be like, hey, students, give me your money. Like that just feels super weird to me. I mean, sometimes, you know, like for more specific things like private mentorship where it's like dedicated time to a person, that is fine. But like if we just like talk, if we're just, you know, shooting the shit on Twitch, you know, I greatly appreciate the subs, but like no one ever needs to feel to pay for this at all, for sure. We're just shooting the shit and you're just watching me model. What do I think about the VFX game industry for 3D artists? Is it still viable for new artists? Oh, of course. All right, this is another thing. Like people are talking about the fact of how like things are like harder now than they used to be. Like I said, that first is wrong. Secondly, like as far as like being concerned about losing your job and having no jobs, like that's always existed in one form or the other. Like nothing has really changed now. Like before, the big scare was outsourcing. And of course, outsourcing has become a big thing. But there's still a need for the jobs, right? Like it's not, there's always going to be some fear of not having a job. Like that's always just going to exist. Like the main thing you can do is just do your best and hope things work out. Honestly, that's kind of the mindset I usually have all this sort of stuff, like all the AI stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. You can keep trying to fear monger on Twitter if you want, but I'm just not really going to look at that stuff and just keep, you know, moving the polygons. Oh yeah, I didn't do this part of the back, did I? So there's like a cut in here, I guess. But yeah, unfortunately, like if you, like one of my biggest recommendations for students is don't look at the Reddit VFX, the VFX Reddit, don't look at it. All it's full of is jaded seniors that are just angry at the world. Like, I don't really feel there's too much value to be gained from looking at that place. Yeah. Jaded senior. Hey, how different is your work at Blizzard vs. Films? Are you still mostly just modeling or doing textures as well? Sorry if that. Oh no, that's all good. I'm not doing textures. Like modeling in Blizzard Cinematics, the modeling and texturing team are pretty different to each other, like separate, which is a surprise for me. But I've mostly been doing mix of modeling and concept, essentially. I definitely haven't been doing texturing. That's not going to happen. Every day there's a negative post. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just not worth looking at sometimes. Like, sometimes you'll see posts about saying how it's impossible to get a job, and then someone will ask to see their demo reel, and they don't even have a demo reel, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, that's probably the main issue there. Like, you might need a demo reel to get a job. It's like, but yeah, there's also a lot of jaded seniors in there. I think it's just best to just avoid it. Pretty similar stuff that Fausto did at Blizzard. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a Fausto thing. A lot of the artists on the cinematic team also delve into the concept realm. Like the cinematic artists are treated as kind of like jack of all trades for not the discipline, but the aesthetic of things. Like, they can help the game teams out, which is cool. I like it. Like, the cinematic team has a lot of respect in Blizzard, which is cool. This is kind of cool. Oh, it's too far though. You love RVFX and everything else, but I'm biased because it pays your rent? What does that mean? Do you like work with Reddit or something? Did you play any Blizzard games prior to joining? Hell yeah. I played a lot of fucking World of Warcraft. like way too much World of Warcraft when I was younger. That's the I played, all the main Blizzard games pretty much. But yeah, World of Warcraft for me was like a literal addiction. So I have a World of Warcraft count now again, but one of the benefits of being a Blizzard is, like, of course, I don't have to pay for the account anymore. So that's super cool. But yeah, I had this really cool moment, like the oh, you work for Reddit? All right, fair enough. That's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, I had this cool moment when I was back in Australia recently. I was sitting in my bedroom that I obviously grew up in my mum's house, and I was playing World of Warcraft, like in my bedroom, literally 20 years later, except this time I worked for Blizzard. I was like, that's such a cool, like, full circle sort of moment thing. Like, I never had any intention of actually going to Blizzard, or like, it was never like a career goal or anything. It just kind of happened, but it's kind of cool that life just went that way. Wait, what do you mean pay for the account? Well, I mean, of course, like, if you work for a game company, you get the games for free. Like, that's what I mean. Of course, if you work for Blizzard, you get Blizzard games. Why do you ignore these artifacts on edges? It's just concepting. Yeah, at the moment, all I'm caring about is getting, like, the forms right. Actual cleaning topology up will come later. At the moment, I'm just trying to make sure things are matching this. I don't actually care about what I don't care about how it actually looks. I'm just getting the blocking to look correct, if that makes sense. Let me just make this pink. This is the way I usually work. I don't necessarily care about the topology for a long time. We just want to keep it loose, get the the forms feeling good, and then we can worry about that sort of stuff later. What is this hole in here? Interesting. Hangs out on GM Island all day. Is GM Island a thing? But yeah, it's kind of funny because like when I worked in VFX, I didn't necessarily care about the companies I worked for. Of course, like being at ILM and stuff was cool, but it's not like I didn't really care that much. But like being at Blizzard is kind of like, shit, I'm actually pretty proud of being in this company. Like this is like my childhood right here. Okay, so this is all curves this way now. There seems to be a bulge here, which maybe we should introduce. I mean, that could be interesting, having the bulge come out up there. Because, yeah, we want to play with the flow of the car before we commit to anything. People glitched into it in the past? Yeah, Broken Robot, you said you used to play WoW, right? What's the typical time frame provided for a model? Honestly, this car, we could probably do this in like 2 weeks, maybe. Yeah, about 2 weeks, maybe. Like, so I've only done this on stream, and it already kind of, the proxy is already in a pretty good spot. So if we were to consider this, the 3 streams we've done, which is like maybe 2 hours each. Actually, this is the 3rd one right now. So let's just say 3 streams. So that's like 6 hours. And I've been pretty distracted talking to chat while I do this. So that's 6 hours. That's not even one work day yet. So if I was to work, let's say, efficiently or correctly at work, we could have this current state of the asset in 4 hours. So if I started this, for example, on the Monday, Tuesday lunchtime, we could have this like blocking in front of the VFX soup within the first day, well, within, the next day essentially. And then if obviously they might critique stuff and stuff like that, and then if they like it, you could probably get the rest of the forms feeling good by the end of the week, and then we could block out an interior and then start doing the interior the next week. It depends on context, right? Like if they have like a close-up of the light, of course we'll have to spend more time here. There might be some time, like a day or 2 dedicated to literally just figuring out transformation of how the doors will function, stuff like that. So this asset could be done in 10 days, 10 to 20 days. The moment this gets harder is if they filmed part of this on set, they might have like, I mean, to be fair, if they built this on set, they probably would have built the whole thing. But imagine this was a big spaceship, right? They might have built like just a section of it, like this area on set. So we'd have to build around that. So it depends entirely on the context of how things are used. But yeah, if someone was to tell me I get 20 days to do this, so that's 4 weeks, that's fair. We'd probably do it quicker, but that's not too bad. I don't think it's worth, if you're starting out though, I don't think it's worth worrying too much about this sort of stuff though. Like the expectation of a junior is not going to be the same as that expectation of me. Like there's no way me and someone starting their first job are going to be given the same deadline for an asset, because obviously the expectation is I'll do this a lot quicker than they will. But yeah, you'll see I like to color code stuff as well, just because it makes it more interesting to look at. It helps me see the forms better. So I don't like sitting looking at gray cubes all day. In saying that though, when you present work, if you're a modeler and you're going to present this to the VFX soup, don't present them with shaders like this, because it just confuses them. Always go back to default for presentation. Do you give the estimates? It depends. Depends what position you're at. At my point in my career, I mean, usually what happens is they'll tell me, okay, we've got X amount of days. What time can you actually do this? And usually the days I tell them is smaller than what I'm given. So I still make estimates, but I didn't do the bid. I would just say that. That's probably a better way of putting it. I totally didn't even figure out the bottom of this thing, did I? Oh, well, I'll do that later. How do you find plasticity, by the way? I remember you learning it. Still sub-deep modeling is the king for what you do at work. Yeah, I tried it a bit. It's pretty cool. For me, there's so many times where I'd rather just do poly modeling. What I do want to get into though is, where the hell is my thing? Oh, I don't know why Maya does this sometimes. Let's go to modeling standard. Oh god. What am I looking for? Oh, I don't have bonus tools installed on this version of Maya. Fuck. Okay, in bonus tools, you've got something called, is it speed cut? It's essentially like the Boolean system of Blender in Maya. So that looks pretty cool. So I want to get more into that, honestly. I think it's called speed cut, if anyone can confirm. Would a junior be asked how long it would take them to tackle the asset? No, no way. Most of the time, because the junior would just underestimate. Like, because the thing is, well, is like a lot of the time juniors, obviously they're trying to impress everyone, so they'll say a much lower number than they'll actually need, and they also won't have the experience of knowing that they'll probably need more time than they think. Like I could be like, yeah, sure, I can do this in 10 days. Boom, easy, done. And then the VFX supervisor goes through rounds of notes, which a junior might not be used to. So I'll be honest, like if they give me an extremely short deadline, I'll be like, I can do something by that time. It might not be approved by that time though. And usually that's a good way of gauging it out. But yeah, if you're a junior, don't worry about time. Just worry about quality. Juniors aren't given the same deadlines that a senior is. And when it comes to portfolio, the only thing that matters is your quality. It doesn't matter if you can do something fast or not. This shape really annoys me. Is it? It's not actually like this, is it? Let's go back to general. Yeah, I added this in, but it does bulge out. I still don't know if I like it though. Maybe I'll just change it. So on theirs it comes out this way. Maybe it'll be fine if we just get rid of the actual form change. Or do they give you a set? Oh no, it's just that. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Speed comes to experience. I guess a lot of the time it's more like just looking at something and knowing it doesn't look right before needing to go to feedback about it. I guess that might be it. This feels very weird at the front though. Wait, how long have I been streaming for? I need to leave at 2:30 because I'm playing RV there yet with some Australian friends. It's a bit of a shame, but like with my Australian friends, like the time difference is so crazy. We need to find like very specific times to play games together. An hour 30? All right, yeah, about 30 more minutes then, I guess. It's a shame because like with, well, not shame, but like with streaming, I feel like I'm just talking so much and not really focusing too much on the work that like the stream will end and I'll be like, shit, I did nothing. Like, and we all have some good conversations, right? But nothing, the work itself is not moving as fast as it should be, which is why I wouldn't use the stream as an accurate representation of like actual work speed, because we need to be faster at work for sure. What's the other side? Well, it's a bit curved like that actually. Maybe we do something like this. Speed modeling stream? Nah, I don't think that'd be fun. Another reason why I like doing the stream is for me, I treat it pretty chill. Like I'd rather just have like interesting conversations with people instead of like, you know, I have to work hard during the week. I would rather just chill out on stream, which is why I like doing this sort of stuff where we just do a cool model and chill out. Yeah, over there doesn't look right either. Maybe we should do the other way instead. So this is not creased, but this one. Actually, what does that look like? Interesting. I mean, it kind of is what they have to a degree. Maybe. Kind of. It's crazy. I was talking to a lawyer the other day, and they were telling me that they have to bill every 6 minutes. Like, it's fucking crazy. I couldn't imagine dealing with that. But like every 6 minutes, you need to record like what you're working on, so you can bill the correct client. Like that to me is, I just can't imagine like having to bill my work that often, or at least record it. If that makes sense. I don't know if there's any lawyers in the chat that could confirm that. This was kind of weird actually, having this sort of slope like this. It's kind of what they got. Six minutes is common, 1/10 hour. Yeah, that's it. It's crazy because for me, at the end of the week, I'll just open the timesheet thing and just do like 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, and just put in the same thing. And it's like, cool, done. And then the next week, it's just copy previous timesheet, boom, done. Like that's my time tracking. And then when it comes to like if I do multiple tasks, it's like, 1 day on this task, 1 day on that task, 3 days on that task, done. Like there's no, I don't really record every 6 minutes or anything like that. Cousinless lawyer? My time tracking is I'm on salary, fortunately. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so does your cousin have to do that, the 1/10 hour thing? Would you really record it though, or just ballpark it? Feel like you'd spend so much time recording. Yeah, no, in VFX, it's ballpark. I mean, it depends, right? Because there's idle time. Like it's not like if I have to wait 30 minutes for the daily session, I'd do like bill 30 minutes of idle time. Like it's just 30 minutes gone to whatever asset you're working on. It's fine. It'd be funny if there's some production person on the stream just seething right now about me not filling my timesheet correctly or something. But no one cares that much, I don't think. He works for himself now, but when he worked for a big firm, he absolutely had to do the 6 minute thing. That's crazy. Yeah, I first heard about that on a few nights ago when someone was telling me about it. I was like, that's crazy. I didn't do anything like that. So why does he work for himself now? Is it because he just got sick of doing that sort of stuff? Like, what's the deal? This is actually kind of feeling pretty good at the moment. Like, a lot of these forms don't feel too good right now. Like, they're just kind of a bit weird, but we can smooth this stuff out a bit. Like, this doesn't feel right. Maybe pull this up here. Just gonna start flattening some things out just so it's a bit more consistent. But I really just like that. That can't be right. Yeah, it's just this weird highlight here. I don't know why it bulges like that, but we're gonna ignore it. It doesn't feel good. Yeah, big firms have tons of burnout. They take new kids out of law school and work them to death, so he opened his own little shop with a partner. Yeah, sick, that's fair. But yeah, I think another reason why I'm finding it hard to like push forward a bit more at the moment is because I didn't look up any reference, which I keep forgetting to do, of like potentially what this area could look like. So next stream, I'll have more reference for an actual car. But for a moment, we've just been playing with proportions of stuff and flow of forms, which is obviously very important. But like my main issue at the moment, there's a big difference between these two, where these should be very consistent. So I'll sort that out next stream for sure. Are you creasing it for block out, or you're not going to add some more chips? So what we're doing is we're creasing. Let me just save this first, actually. So we're creasing the low poly to get the basic forms of what we will need. And then when we're happy with that, we might do a bit of cleanup. Like I'm not going to leave this like this. And then we subdivide to the next level. Then at the next level, we might do like, okay, this is the level we're going to do. Like, I'm obviously not going to do this properly, but we might need like a cut in for this vent and stuff like that. And then I'll probably crease this, and then we'll take it up to the next level. And this will be the final model. This might be a bit too high res. So depending on the complexity of what we actually need, like I'd rather not have pinching where we don't need it. So it might be a case of like, maybe we subdivide to this level, but then we go through and remove some edge loops and balance it out a bit. And then we'll subdivide it up to the final level. So it'll be like a mix of these sorts of things, right? But yeah, and then for the final level, this is when we'll do the triple edging and stuff like that. This density is maybe close enough, but my main issue is the wheel. Well, wheel is not, it's going to need more density here. So it's kind of like we just build it in layers and then we subdivide up each time. And then we eventually do the triple edging at the end. So at the last stage, the triple edging is also where we'll split the wheel off when we have like the forms correct. I also just realized I have no idea how this thing flies. So we're going to make up our own sort of like propulsion sort of thing underneath the wheels, because that would be kind of cool. Maybe we'll make it very slightly visible, but like having some form of propulsion here could be kind of cool. Maybe we'll make it like that might break the elegance. Maybe we'll hide it a lot more. But having some sort of consistent propulsion thing between both of these would be a good idea. Because it'd be cool to show the bottom as well. You seem like a Bladerunner spinner. Yeah, maybe I should probably look into the Bladerunner spinner, but I don't know what they look like underneath. But yeah, we're gonna also build. Oh, my focal length is crazy. We're also building an interior that we'll eventually have working. So we'll have the seats and then look outside the windows and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. And then we're going to work out how the doors work and all that sort of fun, great stuff. I kind of like the difference between the front and the back, as if the front and wait. Yeah. And the digi-double of Ryan Gosling, fuck no, we're not doing digi-doubles. I'm kind of over the idea of like learning new things or feeling I need to. I mean, it's not bad, but like I don't feel the need to do digi-doubles. Like with this sort of project, I'm not really learning anything. I'm just kind of enjoying it and showing people how I work. I think that the front and back looking different can work to a degree, but they also should integrate together better. We'll see. But yeah, I got 10 more minutes of stream, bro. I have to bounce and play RV there yet with my friends. I also changed the window because the window doesn't technically work with this perspective. But yeah, it's all right. Do you have a dedicated stream times or just hopping on whenever works? This is usually the dedicated stream time. My weekdays themselves are pretty busy. So if I'm going to stream, it'll be... I mean, I do intend to do this consistently. But yeah, it's just this day. There's no dedicated stream during the week at this point. Life is a bit too busy at the moment. So I want to have this curve end here, but this is a bit not really working at the moment. So maybe we could do something like this, where we pull this out a bit. Oh, not down that. Pull this out a little bit here, and we're gonna have like a rim like this or something. That could be cooler, like having like a double sort of rim. Of course, when we do this properly, this front bit will be merged, but for now we leave it. But yeah, a double kind of highlight like that could be cool. Or like a transition from one to the other. The topology is not the best at the moment, but we can fix that later. Yeah, we don't want this sort of highlight. Oh, I can probably just delete this, I guess. Oh, I can't delete it. Never mind. We'll make it work later. Because they also have this sink in more. It's a weird transition. But it could work. Later we'll refine it. Did you get hired to work on the new Cyberpunk game? That would be cool. Cyberpunk is definitely one of my favorite games for sure. But I did not get hired by CD Projekt Red. I don't know if I'd want to move to Boston. Even for Cyberpunk, I don't think I'd really want to move to America right now. Blizzard lets me do remote in Vancouver, so that's it's very nice of them. Could always move to Poland. Nah, like moving to Poland and then, like, okay, I might have a take that a lot of people don't agree with, but like I fucking love Cyberpunk. I played through that game 4 times. I got like 400 hours played in that stupid game just because I love like sitting in the world, right? Like it's the type of game where like instead of using fast travel, I physically drive everywhere. But so my expectation of CD Projekt Red is super high, and then I played Witcher 3 and I fucking hated it. The combat just annoyed me so much that I just stopped playing it. Like even though I know the story and is meant to be one of the best ever, but like the floaty combat it was just so different than what I thought it would be. So I'm hoping Witcher 4 has better combat than Witcher 3 does. Witcher 3 doesn't have cool cars anyway. But yeah, like I wouldn't want to go to Poland and then work on Witcher 4. Like if I was to go to CD Projekt Red, it would be to work on Cyberpunk, right? Like that's what I want to work on, not The Witcher. But yeah, I was a bit just disappointed with Witcher 3 because I just had such high expectations after Cyberpunk. Yeah, like for me, like I enjoy combat in games. Like I'll go out of my ways to fight stuff. But in Witcher 3, I just dreaded having to fight things. Like when I had to like prep for the hunt and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered. Like I don't want to do this. I'd rather maybe I should just watch a playthrough of someone else so I can get the story without having to play it, which is crazy, like that I have to go to that effort. But Cyberpunk combat's so satisfying. Yeah, like especially with Cyberpunk like 2.0 or whatever, right? Like when the game was how it should be, Cyberpunk's combat is very satisfying. But Witcher, I just dreaded fighting things. The first time I played as Ciri, I almost just stopped playing the game. Because I'd finally gotten used to the weird floatiness of like Geralt. And then suddenly, like, I was getting beaten by a pack of wolves. I'm like, this is pissing me off. Like, the wolves are constantly attacking me out of screen. Like, you're just floating all over the place. I'm like, this is absurd. Yo, Andrew, how's it going, man? The story itself is really worth playing. I know, like, I hear it's worth... But I don't want to... Okay, I'll just put it this way. Playing Witcher 3 just made me start another Cyberpunk playthrough. Like, that's... I was like, I'd just rather play Cyberpunk. You find the gunplay in Cyberpunk not enjoyable? How did you play, though? Because there's so many different ways of playing Cyberpunk. There are plenty of lore essay channels I can watch on YouTube. Yeah, I'd probably just do something like that, honestly. One thing I did like was watching any Austin's videos on like Witcher and stuff like that. Try Armored Core 6. I actually did. I didn't like it. I didn't give it a fair go, but it just didn't feel right for me. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood to play that sort of game. But I know Armored Core 6 is good. Do I like the Fallout games? Yeah, Fallout games are good. But yeah, maybe one day I'll give Witcher a go. Let me look at how much time actually no, I sat idle, so that's not going to be good. I was going to say let me look at how many hours I put into Witcher, but then I realized I sat idle for quite a few hours at some point, so my timeline is kind of screwed up. You're not really an ability user. I know loads of people enjoy the abilities, which are good, but I just raw gunplay, but it felt weird. I can't explain. Did you play it? When did you play it though? Like, did you play it after 2.0 with like Phantom Liberty, or did you play it before? Because they changed the gameplay a lot with 2.0. Like 2.0 is how the game should have been, if that makes sense. Idle, you mean meditating? No, idle is in like I just put the game down and went and did something else. I just left it online. You got to try it with Johnny's gun. Yeah, Johnny's gun is... my first playthrough, I just played with sniper rifle, pistol, and throwing knife. So I used Johnny's gun. You played on release, yeah. Give it a go now. It's completely different to how it launched. Like, it's a shame, but if Cyberpunk came out how 2.0 and Phantom Liberty did, it would easily be like received as one of the best launches of all time, I think. But unfortunately, the game released in such an awful state. Johnny's gun and Panam's rifle, yeah, that's what I used for my first playthrough. You just started Cyberpunk because your last stream already have 60 hours on it? That's what I like to hear. The game is fixed. Yeah, the game is fixed. Honestly, Phantom Liberty alone is worth its own game. Like, even if you don't want to play the rest of Cyberpunk, I would encourage people just get it and just create a character at Phantom Liberty and just play Phantom Liberty. You'll have an amazing experience. Hated the game before 2.0. Something about wearing a cartoon-looking hat to boost my damage resistance. Yeah, in 2.0, they got rid of all that stuff. But yeah, so next stream, I'll probably go onto Cyberpunk before, and I'll look at some of the car interiors and take some screenshots. So we actually have like proper ref to use for the car. It's funny because at the end of every stream, because like I spend half the time talking, and I'm just pulling verts around. I look at this at the end and I'm like, shit, I didn't do anything. I mean, we're still moving forward, but it's kind of like, yeah, we've still got quite a while to go. Oh shit. Yo, Cat Snack, thanks for the raid of 50 people. Holy shit. We were literally about to end stream. But yo, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the stream. What were you streaming? You were drawing? Sick. What were you drawing? So yeah, all the new people who haven't been here before. I used to work in the VFX industry for like 12 years. Worked on movies like Dune and Star Wars and all that cool stuff, and now I'm currently at Blizzard doing some stylized Naruto stuff. Sick. Do you use 3D at all? But yeah, we're just building this this car in 3D pretty much. What's my favorite designed car in Cyberpunk? You like the Thornton Colby? I mean, it's going to be super generic, but whatever the hypercar is at the end. I can't remember what the name is. Is this ZBrush? Nah, this is Maya. You don't, but you also worked in the industry, not VFX, in 2D animation. That's very cool. In what part of animation do you work? Are you doing cinematics in Blizzard, or you changed to making game assets? I'm on the cinematic team, but the cinematic team kind of does a lot of stuff. Like, we do marketing, art, we can support the game team, we can help with concept. We're kind of in this weird middle ground between a lot of different things, which I think is super cool. You're a character animator? Sick. Shows on Netflix and shit. Sick. What'd you work on? Do you have any work you want to show? The Caliban? Yeah, that's the car. But yeah, I've been at Blizzard for about, I think, 10 months now, and I really like it. Probably the most fun I've had in my career, I think. You keep it private, your chat will stalk the credits? All right, fair enough, no worries. But yeah, thanks for the raid, I appreciate it. But yeah, I got 20 more minutes. We can go for a little bit longer. Yeah, there's not many 3D streamers on Twitch these days anymore. So it always kind of surprised me when someone rates me. Here's what you're doing. All right, let me check it out. Oh shit. Okay. So you can actually draw. That's very cool. How long you been in the industry for? Failed Captain is a solid 3D modeler. I think he uses ZBrush though. Oh, you left 3 years ago. Do you mind if I ask why? Because you can obviously draw. But yeah, that's super cool. Things got unstable after the pandemic, and I want to work in a more stable industry. Yeah, I feel that. That makes sense. Do you mind if I ask what you do now instead? What is more stable in this day and age? Getting laid off every couple of years just kind of sucks. Yeah, I feel that. I was very fortunate that I got to, I guess, dodge a lot of the layoffs, but obviously during like the writer's strike and stuff like that, I obviously saw a lot of friends losing their work, their jobs. I mean, plumbing and electricians. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. You work in a sector between law and finance. Well, keep it vague. Fair enough. No worries. You don't need to. You don't need to tell us everything. Bro is a mobster. That just moves into organized crime instead. No, it's so good. It's so good. You don't need. It's Twitch. You don't need to reveal anything, of course. Do you still just like draw for fun then? I guess. Why do you Why do you stream? Mafia boss low key? Sick. Oh yeah, I might as well put my demo reel up so people can see the sort of stuff I've done. It's actually been a while since we even looked at the demo reel, funny enough. Just a hobby at this point. I mean, it's cool you still keep doing art for fun. I think it's important. Yeah, this is my my modeling demo reel. Let's just make this bigger. But yeah, I worked on Dune and is this even high quality? I guess it's not. Quality 360p. Well, we don't need that. It's a good 1080. But yeah, so I'm a hard surface modeler building vehicles and robots and cool shit like that. But yeah, so I was in VFX for like 10 to 12 years. I can't remember. It's all blurred together at this point. And yeah, Blizzard reached out this time last year, like, hey, do you want to come to Blizzard? I was like, all right, sure. We'll try something different. But yeah, there was 3 hard surface modelers that pretty much did all of the Dune hard surface stuff, and I'm one of the 3. So we did all this sort of cool stuff. How many years were I modeling before I got my first industry gig? So I self-taught myself 3D for a few years, and then spent a year doing a portfolio or something like that. And yeah, I kind of just forced myself in the industry by, I mean, I don't know if many people know about the story of how I got in, but essentially what happened was I made a demo reel. Like I self-taught myself 3D for a year, like making a portfolio. So I learned 3D for a bit and then spent a year making a portfolio. And then I sent it to like 90 studios around the world, and then no one responded. So I sent it to 130 people, like studios, like 3 months later when I rebuilt the whole folio. No one responded again. So I booked a flight to London with no job, no secure, no accommodation, didn't know anyone. I just like went up and went. And then within the first week of being in the country, I reached out to a guy that I'd contacted a year before. And he said, if I ever come to London, we'll grab a beer or whatever. So I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I'm in London. He's like, cool, let's catch up. And then he invited a friend who happened to work in HR to lunch. Like, it wasn't a plan or anything. We just grabbed lunch. And I told them I'd just arrived in London with nothing. And they were like, do you want to be a runner? And I was like, of course, anything. So a runner cleans kitchens and serves clients coffees in a VFX studio. So I gave them my contact. The next day I sat across the road from the studio MPC, just refreshing my iPad over and over until I got an email that, hey, they got my contact. Do I want to have a chat? And I was like, yep, I'm across the road right now. They're like, okay, come across the road. We had the chat, boom. Within the first week of being in London, I was now in a VFX studio cleaning kitchens. So, okay, so then now I'm in MPC as a runner, right? Shit, I haven't told this story for years. I'm in MPC now. I'm like, hey, I would be a modeler. Here's my portfolio. And they're like, cool. We can't hire you because junior work is all sent to India now. I'm like, okay, fair enough. So what I did was I did my running shift and then I sat at a spare computer in the modeling room and doing personal work. And I had a rule that I had to be the last person in the room every single day. And so I was in the studio like 16 hours a day. And then after 3 months, they were like, okay, fine, we'll give you a shot. And I literally just sat in the room until they gave me a modeling job. And the first modeling job was Guardians of the Galaxy, which I worked way harder than I'll ever work again. And then, yeah, I literally just sat there until I got a job. And then, as you can see, I've been very fortunate with how life has gone. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, everyone has a completely different path into the industry. There's no trick I can tell you which will just give you a job, right? It's just about putting yourself out there, dealing with the constant rejections, and then constantly, working hard, and things will eventually work out. What is the VFX pipeline? Oh God, where do I start with that? So I'm just a hard surface modeler. So all I do is build the 3D models. Like, I don't do the texturing, I just do the models. So I built all this stuff here. And then a rigger will rig the asset. It goes down the pipeline to like animation, stuff like that. They will animate it. While at the same time, layout will create the 3D scenes, like the shots are done by layout. And then obviously you have your effects, your lighting, and then it's all rendered together and comped together by compositors. You don't know if you could be that desperate, but hey, what's the alternative? I just don't do this and then stay in Australia and be upset and hop on r/VFX and complain about the world. This is the thing, right? Like, I just don't see the value of like just complaining about online how unfair everything is. To me, I would rather just work hard and just keep working hard. But that's just me personally. It's the same as 3D animation. Yeah, it's the same as 3D animation. Like, so Sony ImageWorks, it's essentially, they work on both VFX and animation, and it's just the same people. Hop on r/VFX, get some ads while you're there. Do you get like any commission for being, people being sent to r/VFX? But yeah, don't get me wrong, I've been very fortunate in my life. Like, I never had any idea my career would go this way. I obviously worked my ass off, but I do acknowledge how lucky I've been that life went this way, for sure. The ship model is interesting, feels out of place, kind of like from the other models. Oh, you mean like the Pirates of the Caribbean ship? So I did model all the wood and stuff. It's just, okay, so the way it was done actually, which is quite good, it was procedurally, like the wood grain was procedurally done with ZBrush, which is crazy actually. So they had this super smart texture lead. I can't even remember his name. It was so long. But this Italian dude, super smart guy. What he did was, what we had to do was we had to pretty much do all the wood, the same scale and the same direction. And then in ZBrush, he just applied noise in one direction, and he had several different layers he stacked on top of each other. So all of the grain was literally just noise stretched in one direction. So we had to make sure the planks of wood all followed the same axis. So yeah, it wasn't even like hand sculpted. It's all procedurally done in ZBrush, which is crazy. But I fortunately got to avoid all that sort of stuff. But I had to figure out how the ship actually opened. So that's what a lot of the stuff that I had to do as well. Like all of this sort of stuff is what I figured out. Yeah, VFX is full of like the smartest people you ever meet. Every single task is a new challenge we have to deal with. But yeah, all this stuff, God, I built this stuff 10 years ago, but it still is pretty cool. But yeah, so this is this is the first asset I made from scratch myself. Rocket's Warship will always have a special place in my heart. I even have like the toy right here. It's a shame because it used to have 4 wings, but they took the bottom wings off, which kind of suck. But it is what it is. What's that? I won't lie. Most of your understanding of the effects come from Corridor Digital. So with Corridor Digital, they are not actually liked in the VFX industry because a lot of the time they don't usually get it right. Like they'll do kind of like how they think shots are done, and they usually don't do it right. But they kind of act as if they do know what they're talking about. I'm not saying they're bad or anything, but it is kind of like people not in the industry commenting on the industry, and they really piss the industry off when they do things about like, we fixed the young Luke Skywalker. Like that sort of stuff really pisses the industry off. And then in the end, what they do doesn't actually look better. But like as just like a YouTube channel, it's fine. But yeah. Anyone you actually hated working on? Or any film I hated working on? Not really, honestly. Like, oh no, I mean there has been. I'm not going to say them though. If I've worked on a show and it's not in my demo reel, I probably didn't like it. But it's not necessarily the show itself was bad, it's just the subject matter I don't necessarily care about. I get that the animation critique every time I see interpolate 60 FPS scene with every comment saying how smooth it is, I get rage baited. Yeah, I think a lot of the time industry people just ignore whatever gets put online. You notice a distinct lack of Uncharted in your reel. Yeah, I didn't hate the work. It's just I did digidoubles, which is not what I want to do. Like if I don't want to do digidoubles, I'm not going to put digidouble stuff in my portfolio. I wouldn't say I hated the project. It's just not really what I wanted to do. But yeah, like John was my model lead on that show. So it's not like, I mean, essentially what happened was everyone on Dune just rolled onto Uncharted. So it was the same people doing Dune and Uncharted, but it's just not the work I really want to do. I worked on a Christmas movie that that you won't find listed anywhere, which is kind of funny. I completely forgot I worked on that Netflix Christmas movie, funny enough. What about the blue milk bottle? Oh shit, I forgot about that, didn't I? Which company has the most skilled people in VFX, like quality over quantity? It's hard. I mean, for me, easily Blizzard, but like the modeling team at Blizzard is easily some of the best artists I've worked with. DNEG had the strongest team internally, but then DNEG is also has 5,000 artists, so it's not the strongest because it gets watered down pretty easily. Kurt Russell was the Santa. Don't know if that's maybe. I can't put the name to a face. Maybe. How do you figure out the stuff you don't know? When you're doing like wait, let me finish your question first. How do you figure out the stuff you don't know? The time pressure while you're learning stuff, new stuff, must be scary. Oh yeah, totally. If you're at work and I don't know how to do something, I just ask someone. Like say for example, when I did digidoubles on Uncharted, I just asked John to teach me the digidouble workflow. I think that's another thing that's really important is like be upfront at work with what you don't know how to do, because there's nothing worse than like your supervisor gives you a task, you're like, yeah, sure, I got it, and then the deadline is up and you haven't done it. Like I'm always upfront. If someone wants me to do a ZBrush pass, I'm like, honestly, I might not be the best person to assign this task, or I might just need extra time because I'm not as proficient in ZBrush. And then usually they just assign it to someone else or they give you the extra days. Has that ever happened to me? Sorry, has what ever happened to me? Would it be difficult for you to transition to game assets? Is that common? No, not really. Polygons are polygons, right? All you have to do is just learn the workflow. It's still just polygons at the same time. In anime, it felt like every studio had their pros and cons. 100%. There's no studio which is perfect, easily. Like, there's always going to be issues. For me, personally, Blizzard has had the least issues so far. But, yeah, some studio, like, there's no perfect studio. Like, NPC has a very negative reputation, but I had a great experience because I got to work on a lot of cool things. So, it is what it is. Surely there would be a really strong temptation not to disappoint the person you're working for and just say, yeah, I can do it, and then force yourself to learn in a very short period of time. Yes and no. If you don't pull it off, you've made the situation so much worse. And I think like as a junior, there's no expert. Oh, I've got stupid ads. Let me just turn this off. As a junior, there's no like expectation that you're going to be perfect and just do everything right. I think it's always best to be upfront and honest about what you can and can't do. Like no one's going to look at a junior and be like, oh my God, you don't know how to do everything. You know, get out of here. It's much worse if you say, yeah, I can do everything, and then you fail. Ads on your own vid, that's rough. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, I do need to go though, unfortunately. But thank you for the raid, Kasnak. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do need to bounce though. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I will catch you all later. It's 100% your soup can usually spread the load. Yeah, totally. Like if you have a good supervisor, they'll understand. There's no expectation that you'll just do everything perfect. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll come check out your stream sometime. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll catch you all later. See ya. Bye.